Tonight, we kick off our series on the Massachusetts ballot questions for the November election. Our goal is to help you better understand what you're voting on.
We're going to start with question 1, which asks voters whether the state auditor should have the authority to audit the legislature. Now, the current state auditor, Diana DiZoglio, is an ardent supporter of the measure, but opponents question whether a legislative audit is even necessary and constitutional. Diana DiZoglio's successful run for state auditor was built on the promise that if elected, she would audit the legislature. 2 years later, she's leading the campaign for ballot question 1.
Question 1 would bring on the sun. Sunlight is the best disinfectant.
Bay State voters are being asked whether the office of the Massachusetts state auditor should have the authority to audit the legislature. DiZoglio's answer is a resounding yes.
Bills are able to be passed in the middle of the night with no recorded roll calls. Committee votes oftentimes don't take place, so we can't track how people voted. Those are all matters of concern for the general public.
Under current law, the auditor's office has authority over all departments, offices, commissions, institutions, and activities of the Commonwealth. Question 1 explicitly adds the legislature to that list. DiZoglio says an audit would shine a light on what many consider to be one of the least transparent legislatures in the nation, not only peeling back the curtain on the legislative process, but also showing voters how their tax dollars are spent on things like hiring, state contracts, and non-disclosure agreements. Leadership on Beacon Hill has been vehemently opposed to DiZoglio's efforts and have so far refused to work with her office.
We get audited every year already. She fails to mention that fact.
DiZoglio believes taxpayers deserve more. But according to the Center for State Policy Analysis at Tufts University's Tisch College, a yes vote would not give the auditor's office oversight of core legislative functions like committee votes, debates, and committee assignments.
We are not seeking to access anything that would influence their core legislative functions. We would be seeking to simply report on what has already occurred.
Those opposed to DiZoglio's efforts also question whether she has the legal authority to audit the legislature.
Her argument about having statutory authority is a very bad one.
Gerald Duquette is a political science professor at Central Connecticut State University and co-founder and senior contributor at masspoliticsprofs.org. He says DiZoglio's legal argument does not hold weight and that an executive officer, like the auditor, does not have any oversight of the legislature.
She is selling this as if it would only clarify authority that she already has constitutionally and statutorily. And unfortunately, she's very wrong on both counts.
Ahead of November's vote, DiZoglio is walking the length of the Commonwealth trying to convince voters to say yes. She says she has the support of some rank-and-file lawmakers and believes they, like taxpayers, stand to benefit from a legislative audit.
We can support our state legislature, and we can also support transparency. Those things are not mutually exclusive.
Now, the Center for State Policy Analysis found no examples in the United States of legislative audits being conducted without lawmakers' consent. And even if passed, the legislature could use its budgetary power to handcuff the auditor's office or even defund the office altogether, though such an effort could likely wind up in court. Now, you can find much more information on all 5 ballot questions on our website, NBC10boston.com.